Uh, Good evening, everyone. This is your soul brother Talib, who you knew from the Operation Exodus Mississippi channel platform, along with Angel Snup Snup 7 as best. And I did recently give a farewell video. And I am sticking to my word concerning my sabbatical that I mentioned in that farewell video. But what came upon my heart tonight was, you know, I just want to begin by saying that to those of you that I knew in social media, including Angel Snup Snup 7, who I was on the OEM platform with, don't take it personal that I'm no longer in contact with you, no in contact with anyone else on social media right now. In these turbulent times, but I have my reasons for that, and it's no offense attended to you. So I just want to clearly let you know that. But however, and that's also to my brother Earthman. But I like to say this here. You know, this video that I intended upon making is dealing with the black expat community. And I just want to speak on a few things concerning that. Because black expatriation from America is a must. And it's something I agree with. And it's something that I fully support with all 1000% wholeheartedly. Because I don't really see no other reason right now why black people, especially who are descendants of slaves that was born in this country, should have to keep staying here in America suffering the way we've been suffering for over the last 400 years. And, it's like a never-ending thing with this situation. And the fact that many of us have not came to terms with our situation to want to even unite to change this situation, like I tried to with the Mississippi campaign thing. I mean, I must say that I just don't see no hope in black America. And so I support, those black expats who've left America, wherever you may have traveled to, and don't have intentions of turning back. And I'm talking about those who have went even as far as to places like Africa, Europe, Asia, Central America, South America, even those of you who have expatriated down to Mexico or to Canada or to Australia or to Vietnam, Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, China, wherever you may have expatriated to. But one thing I can say, I understand clearly, this is not a perfect world we're living in, considering the planet global Earth, which I'm speaking of. But I must say that there are countries in this world, even according to my own independent research, that I find that black people in this country may be better off in, because this is it's no hope here, and the way things is getting, even with the politics here, and not only because Trump is in there, but one thing he did do was he unveiled the curtains just to let you know what type of nation this really is and what type of nation this country intends to remain on being, from the principles of the foundation it was formed under, which was racism, slavery, and violence, of course, and, everything else that goes along with the corruption of this nation that we're living in. And it is those in power who intend for it to remain to be that way. And, because of the fact that those of us who are, among the descendants of those who built this land, who this land was built by upon blood, sweats, and tears, still will remain at the bottom, and because of the fact that we don't have no unity as a people, will of course mean that that will remain as indefinite, and those, like I said, as far as the black expats, I am at this point reaching out to you. Even those of you who are a part of that platform over there on that channel called Black Japan Experience. I'm even reaching out to you, for questions and answers and stuff like that. And, even for dialogue. But I'm going to tell you this, though. As far as dialoguing with you, I don't want to really dialogue with you on social media. But if you have information that you can email me, that's cool. But I really don't want to too much get into dialoguing on social media. Because it's right now, it's too stressful far as social media go, and I have other things in my own personal life that I'm dealing with anyway. That's enough on my plate. And with social media and with all these different mixed opinions going on, that's just too much added stress as it is, especially being black in America and experience what it is to be black in America is enough to go along with that. So I don't need no extra other complicated stress added on to that, especially with dealing with my own personal health, underlying health issues, So, I just want to put that out there too. But if you want to stay in contact with me after this video is done and posted on this YouTube channel, which is called Eric Bell, then all you have to do is just text me your information, your email information, and or just email me however you want to do it, and we'll go from there, But as far as just on general YouTube, social media, Facebook, I don't care to participate in none of that, As far as dialogue can go, the only way we could dialogue is through email. That's just the way I just keep it at that point. But however, I must say though that in the midst of what's going on, I just don't see no hope. I mean, black lives really don't matter in this country. The system and what it's based on and built on has shown and proven that for over the last 400 years. So it's almost impossible to get this system to realize that, even after over 400 years, if they ain't shown that they respect or care for Black Lives Matter. And those that's pushing that agenda, really, I have my own opinions about that as well, in which I rightfully would say that I choose to do so because I just don't, I see a lot of inconsistencies with that. I mean, because you're not out there for one thing protesting Black Lives Matter when you got these blacks killing each other in the streets like dogs throughout America. And you'll call the police on other black people for petty crimes, but you won't call the police on black people over somebody getting murdered. I mean, and that different type of nature of things. So, the question is now, do black lives really matter to black people? And that's where it mostly should matter at. Instead of it mattering when some racist, or cop blow a brother or sister's head off because they see the N-word, And, also too, I must say that at this point, I basically lost hope in the black struggle here in America. And so those of you, and I'm speaking to those black expats throughout the earth who have already expatriated from this country, and, hey, I say, I salute you for even taking the courage to do that. Because even leaving one country going to another is a challenge, and it takes a lot of planning, and it takes a lot of decision choice makings of how you do that, And hey, like I said, I've known brothers and sisters who've left here and went down there to Mexico and other parts of different areas in Latin America. And what I'm hearing is not what's said according to popular belief about some of them countries, especially according to American racist mainstream media, So, and what I'm hearing from brothers and sisters who've migrated or immigrated to places like Singapore, Japan, Vietnam, they don't even have, and even Korea, they don't even have no complaints over there when it comes to being black, And this is not to say because they're American, either, because that American passport, like I heard someone say on another channel, don't always protect you, especially if you're black. And in some cases, that is true, But like I said, those who have left this country, with that blue passport, don't have no complaints thus far, and have stated why they don't have no complaints when it comes to being black in other parts of the world as compared to when they were living here in America, and, I say that those, even in the so-called pro-black conscious community, should listen to those black expats and take serious advice from them. Because obviously, the different parts of the world they are in, as their adopted countries are concerned, they must know what they're talking about. Because they over there living it and experiencing it themselves, far as how different life is in those countries as compared to when they were here in America, even to the point where they had to leave their families behind, to go off to these different other parts of the world, to move on with their lives, and even had to take other members of their families with them, and take what they could salvage with them to leave and go and start another life somewhere else in a different part of the world, just to turn out that things were more different and better for them, as opposed to what you have to go through with being black in America, being targeted, racially profiled, and all this other different crazy stuff that comes along with suffrage of being black in America. And I say to those of you in black social media black YouTube who have traveled and went to other different parts of the world, and to turn around and tell other black people they shouldn't leave America based on escapism is an ignorant thing to say, especially in the climate of what it is to be black in America, you know? And the fact that if anybody leaves a country because of oppression or some type of form of oppression, whether it got something to do with race or religion or tribalism or whatever the case may be, politically wise, then that's their choice and that's their right as a human choice. If that's their reason for leaving one country to go to another. So I wouldn't even, be telling people stuff like that as far as, not to leave America based on escapism, especially in these critical times that we're living in, especially in this crazy worldwide pandemic, as well as, with the racial unrest going on, and of course, because of the political climate in this country and under this crazy racist, that's in the White House Oval Office. And also the fact that we have, someone else who is running for president as a Democrat called Joe Biden, who's not too much different from Donald Trump. But of course, as those in the black community would call the less of the two evils, or whatever the case is, it ain't gonna make no damn difference. And we've seen this over and over countless of times. When you want to talk about presidents and different people in government, that black people has been under for over these past 400 years, but yet we still slaves, the N-word, and all the underlying stuff that keeps us at the bottom as a people in this country, as it's been going on for over 400 years. And yet our reality is still the same here in this country. So I must say that those of you that are thinking about getting a passport, even like myself, or that's thinking about moving to another country, do that. I encourage you to do that. I seriously encourage you to do that. And if you have to, even in these times, but so some of those of you among us that can go to Canada, hey, when they open them borders back up to be able to cross the borders into Canada or Mexico, then do that. I encourage you, do that. Even if you have to run to the border, like the Mexicans and Central Americans run to the U.S. border to get away from what they're trying to get away from, or feel that they're trying to get away from, then hey, I encourage you to do that. As a matter of fact, years ago, I remember when I was going through a little dark experience in my own life, personal life, and I was down south at the time, and I was talking, matter of fact, to a Caucasian about this years ago, decades ago, matter of fact, and I was telling them it was going to come a time where Americans may have to head north for the Canadian border. And, I'm not some type of prophet or nothing, or nor do I claim to be, or Messiah or any type of religious or divine or entity that claims to go by some type of kind of message in terms of what I say. But I must say that it would sound prophetic as to what I was saying, but I must say that what I was saying obviously turned out after all to be the truth. You know, that we're actually in the time that we may have to get the hell out this country because of what's going on. I mean, you talking about millions of people have lost jobs to this COVID pandemic, and the government ain't trying to do nothing to help them in these times. People are looking to get evicted. The thing with racism and hatred is growing even wider. And the racial divide in this country, which has always been there, is becoming more apparent and is growing wider, to the point where, hey, you know, we may even be talking a possible situation as far as a race war, and all this kind of stuff. I mean, we looking at all this. This is all right in front of our face because of the reality that's taking place, which can't be ignored and which, can't be denied, at least by those who's intelligent enough to really see what's happening, And as a matter of fact, I mean, even not only since Obama, but especially since Trump, many Americans, black and white, and whoever else, that fell up under as being neutralized citizens or natural born neutralized citizens of this country have actually given up their citizenship, who have moved to other countries. And the number of them who are giving up their citizenships is growing, especially up under this president. I just want to throw that in there, So, I mean, with that said, I mean, it's really a situation, like I said, that because I know, like I said, I'm in a sabbatical, but it was too heavy on my heart that I just had to speak about this in this video. Because it's important for y'all to know that it's a lot of people that's getting the hell out this country that's still able to get on a plane with passports and visas and go to wherever chosen country they're going to. They're leaving here. This is how bad this situation is getting. And people in this country, especially those who have finances and is able to salvage what they can to get out of here, need to be paying attention to this because this is serious. I know some of you, don't want to leave, but don't call those who want to leave cowards, nor don't accuse them of running. They just trying to get away from oppression. They trying to go somewhere to where they can live better lives, whether it's individuals or whether it's families. And there's nothing wrong with that. And to throw that out there as a way of trying to use that as a form of influence is really weaponizing that influence to try to keep them here. And that's wrong. That is wrong. As far as I'm concerned, that's wrong. And you shouldn't do that. And I wouldn't even, hey, whatever reasons people would leave America, hey, I don't really got nothing to say about it. Because in all honesty, they have a legitimate reason to. even if they ain't black. They have a legitimate reason to. So like I said before, I mean, we need to pay definitely attention to the expat community and those especially even more that are a part of the black American expat community. We need to pay attention because it's a growing movement of expatriates that's leaving this country. And like I say, of course, the media is not talking about this. The media is definitely not talking about this like they should because they want to keep people sleep to this reality. Because by them keeping people sleep to this reality, you putting the notion out there that it's not that bad. Well, when you got thousands of people that are giving up their citizenship to this country, and them numbers is constantly growing, especially year after year, obviously it's something wrong with the climate of the situation that people are experiencing being here in America. So, I mean, like I said, people need to really start paying attention to the expat community, especially those who are, descendants of dark-skinned slaves that were born in this country that have chosen to leave here. Well, like I said, and there are a growing number, many who are going over to Africa, to different countries over there in Africa. But like I said, they're not just going over to Africa. They're going to different parts of Asia. They're even going over to certain parts of Europe, which is not called France and England. Okay, and that need to even be paid attention to. You know, I mean, you have a big expanding movement of expatriates that's leaving, and there's even information circulating throughout the internet as well as social media that is expandingly talking about this, and and like I said, it needs to be paid attention to. It should not simply be ignored because it could possibly save your life, especially if you are black here in America. You know, and that's all I'm saying. And like I said before, I know when it comes to this thing about leaving America, people have a lot of mixed opinions about this, black and white. I get that and I understand that. But the reality is that it is a growing number of people that's leaving this country. And they're finding, the peace and the peace in other places that they could not find in this country. Whether it's emotional, whether it's mental, physical, they're finding it there. And according, like I said, to what I've seen, they don't have no complaints. They're being treated more like human beings and not like, 3/5 of an animal or a human, rather to say, like we've always been treated as for over 400 years in this country. And, you know, like I said, there are a lot of expats that's leaving and that's not coming back. And those who do come back, that's their own personal choice or whatever the case is for their reasons of coming back. But there are a lot who are not coming back. And like I said, that's even giving up this thing called U.S. citizenship. you know, they're giving it up. And there's a reason behind why they're giving it up. Because they are seeing things that even I can't see. and that a lot of us can't see. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's all I'm just throwing out there, you know, is to let you know that it is a growing expansion of people, especially black people from this country who are leaving and they're not coming back and don't intend on coming back, even with the fact of knowing they still have family that's living here in this country, but they don't have no reason to come back and have clearly said it and have let the world know. So, and you, like I said, you could call them cowards or runners all you want to, but it takes being more of a coward to stay here to dealing with this oppression and especially not doing nothing to change it, or even if you attempting on doing something about it, but you don't really have no support to help you change it. It's really, in my opinion, a waste of time, you know? So, and I'm going to repeat it again as well, is that it takes one to stay here, especially if you ain't trying to do nothing to change the situation about the reality of what it is to be black in America, and to continue on suffering and putting up with this stuff with people that don't like you, especially because of the color of your skin. That's being more of a coward than those who are saying that hell enough with this and just leave, you know? So like I said, I salute those, you know what I'm saying, who have taken it upon themselves to take that journey, especially whether they cross the border or whether they have went across seas, you know? And this needs to be put out there, you know? And I must say even that those who were in the past, you know, leading movements, far as black people even leaving America, like Marcus Garvey, Paul Kufi, just among a few to name, you know, William Blakeney, you know, is smiling from their graves, you know, saying that finally some of our people have woken up, you know, that hey, maybe it's time just to get the hell out of America, period, you know? And hey, it is what it is, you know? And I must say though that I know many of you are going to critique and criticize what I'm saying in this video, even in a negative way, but hey, you know what? I'm not going to even respond. Because, you know, like I said, I'm not into social media like that no more. And I'm not going to even respond to your comments, even if it's negative. Hey, so say all you want to. But the truth is out there. So I'll let the truth be the judge barrier. The judge barrier of all that. Because the truth only could stand on its own anyway at the end of the day. It needs no support. You know, so like I said, at the end of the day, you know, we need to be paying attention to this expat movement that's leaving America and is growing widely, you know. And of course, like I said, the media is not talking about it because they don't want you to know that there are other parts of the world that you could go live in and don't have to experience the racism, the mass incarceration, the discrimination, and the police brutality constantly that black people have to deal with every day in this country. You know, they don't want you to know that there are parts of the world on this earth that exist like that. And of course, like I said, And I don't know how much I could repeat this again, but this is not a perfect world, and I never said this was a perfect world, and not in any of the other videos, the past videos that I've spoken. But hey, it is what it is. I just don't have the truth is the truth. I don't claim that it's a perfect world, nor a perfect country, but there are places, like I said before, that exist on this earth. That black people don't have to go through the sufferings that they go through every day in this country. And I guess that would include myself as being a dark-skinned descendant of a slave born in America. You know? So like I said, hey, I encourage those of you who are thinking about leaving that haven't left yet, like myself, who is looking in that direction, do so. And hey, if you got to die trying, I say go for it. Even in that manner, because this is right now. What's happening here is gonna get worse. You know, and just because I hear a lot where people say, well, it's no better nowhere else in the world for black people. But I have to disagree with that to an extent. You know, even according to my own research I've done independently, I would have to disagree with that. And thanks to social media technology, because if it wasn't for social media technology, I wouldn't have known that there are places in the world today where black people could go to and enjoy more equality and freedom that our people have never known in this country. Okay. So I like I say, I have to disagree with that to a certain extent. Yes, there are places in this world, and of course, this whole entire planet Earth is permeated by white supremacy. Okay, I'm not gonna never get that twisted. But there are other parts of the world where you could be black at, where you don't have to experience being the N word, being profiled racially, or stopped unjustly, and possibly had your head blew off just because of the color of your skin or because you the N word. Okay, in some countries, even over in Europe, uh, you know, the stigmatism of black is not even a term that's used. You're mostly just judged as a human being, regardless of the color of your skin. And I even said in even certain parts of Europe, okay, where this concept of so-called white supremacy originated at. Okay, so like I said before, you know, this is why those of you who say you do the research, especially in the so-called pro-black conscious community, need to take it upon yourself and do more extensive research, obviously, that you haven't done. Because you always equate every place else on the world as being exactly the same as America when it comes to that issue in terms of race and what comes along with the terminology of racism. And it's not 100% true. Okay. It's just not. You know. It's just not. And yes, like I said, everywhere around the world has its effects and impact under the cloak of white supremacy, okay? But it's not the same in every country either, or in every continent, okay? It's not the same. And when it comes to degrees of this thing, it's not the same exactly, especially like here in America. Okay. So, and like I said before, you know, those of you who want to talk about and complain about what's going on here in America, and I'm talking to black people, especially those who are dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in this country like myself, that you want to complain all the time and say what ain't going right for black people in America and this and that, but you ain't trying to do nothing about it, and you ain't trying to really unite to change this situation all together for once and for all. You know, then why don't you find another country to go to where you ain't got to experience this type of existence, or just basically shut the hell up talking about it. You see, because I mean, I've really been at that point for a long time. I've been really fed up with that type of rhetoric for a long time, you know. But on the platform that I was speaking from, you know, I couldn't really say certain things that I wanted to say like that, you know. Okay. And it's no intended disrespect either to the other platform that I was speaking from. But I'm just speaking from what's in my heart personally and what I feel. Okay. Which is my right to do so, you know. But like I said, hey, I'm speaking, this video is based on the black expat community, which I support strongly. Once again, and I can't say no more than that. Far as the black expat community needs more attention drawn to it, and people need to join them in making that journey, actually, and not even just talking about it all the time on social media either. They need to be getting themselves together, preparing themselves, getting their passports, even if they ain't got none, like myself, if they ain't got one, and making that move, preparing to get even one, to make that move. Like I'm, you know, considering on doing, because it's nothing here, especially being black in America. It's no future. Look at our future black generations. They suffering like hell, and the unborn ones is going to be just suffering because of what this present day black generation is not doing to change it. I mean, there's so much division among the so-called 44 plus million of us in America that's almost impossible right now at this point, especially after over 400 years. And if it ain't happened now, after over 400 years, what possibly make people think that black people is going to ever unite to change our situation in this country as it has been from what it's been for over 400 years? I mean, that's just the reality right now at this point, but, like I said before, it is what it is. And I don't care if you're rich or poor, you know, living under these conditions as a black person in this country, it's definitely hell. It's definitely hell. And I won't never stand to hear no one else, especially a white person, say something in front of me or to me about someone else's oppression being worse than the oppression that has been suffered by black people for over 400 years here in America. It don't compare. The oppression of black people, even in the West Indies or the Caribbean or over in Africa, which was colonized for hundreds of years, their oppression even don't come nowhere near to the way we've been oppressed here in America for over the past 400 years. It don't compare. Especially in a country which has made laws for us not to even progress even far as above the ceiling. You know, we can't even go no higher than the ceiling. That's the way laws have been established far as black people in this country is concerned. But over in Africa, that's a whole different story. But they choose, for whatever reason, far as their mishaps or what's going on over there, it's because it's mostly due to their own choices. See, and they have more of a freedom of a choice over there than blacks in America have ever had under this racist establishment here. You see, so I mean, that's why I say I have to disagree when it comes to the terminology of what racism is throughout the world when it comes to black and brown people, period. You know, but that's a whole nother subject for another time. And like I said, I'm not into social media like that any longer. But for any other platform, that could be a whole nother different subject for another time. But like I said, I just want to pour this out in this video to let y'all know that I support y'all in the black expat community and those who have expatriated from America in general. I support you wholeheartedly, but especially those in the black expat community. I reach out to you. And I ask you to reach out to those who want to leave America and get away from this oppression. And those of you who are already trying to reach out to those here in America that are black, that want to get out of here, I encourage you to continue to do so. Even if it's through dialogue or giving out the information that's properly needed to help those blacks who want to make that journey to get up out of America. You know. So, like I said, it's a reality, and we need to wake up and understand that it's a growing expat community leaving America. And it's people, like I said, that's talking about it throughout different parts of social media. And it's a reality. It's a living reality. It's blacks that's living more freer, that were born in this country, that left this country to go to other places in the world that are living more freer. It ain't about going somewhere because you want to take over the world, take over another country, or take over the world, because you might as well just be like the oppressor himself. People just want freedom, real freedom, and true equality and justice. And if they got to leave America to go find it somewhere else, then so be it. And that's my stand on that. you know. So, like I said before, I don't want to stay on here that long, and I'm not, but I just wanted to point that out. And the title of this video, matter of fact, is going to be basically outlining my support for the black expat community. I don't know exactly what I'm going to call it, but you will see once this video is posted on my channel. So those of you that will be watching this video posted on my channel concerning this, I say pay attention. It's a growing expansion of those that are expatriating from America, and it's growing every day. It is growing fast. And that should tell you, because of the worsening conditions of this country, just living in this country, period, for anybody. And not just black people, but for anybody, as we can see right now, right before our eyes. And with that said, I'm going to chime out and leave you in peace as I came. Peace.